What is going on, guys? So I just finished up some of my research for the morning for my brand new website, and I'll be doing a video on that because I actually took a different angle on everything that I'm doing, and I found a different kind of approach to finding ClickBank products because I felt very limited at the beginning, but that's for another video. In this video, we're going to be talking about how to actually track all of your different links that you may be doing for your website, and just basically an overall kind of template that I've generated myself that I used on my previous first website that's helped me keep everything organized. Because one of the biggest things that you might find with online business is that it's hard to kind of keep everything organized because you get lost in the work. So you know, you can do the work, but you also need to have all of that tracking in the back end, because it's the only way that you can see your progress and also, you know, make sure that everything's intact in that sense. So inside of this video, I'm going to take you straight onto the computer and I'm going to break down a tool that I'm actually currently using. And at the end of the video, I'll also leave a link so you can download the template and start using it for yourself. So inside of the video, I'll show you exactly how to use it, all the ins and outs of what the tool does, and how to actually add any functions if you need that for your specific needs. Now, this is just like a kind of beta version of the tool. So if you feel that, you know, there's any kind of updates or feedback that you'd like to give me, then please do. I'm very open to that, and I'll make the adjustments to the tool and then re-upload it for you guys to actually access that for a second time. Anyway, I'm talking too much as per usual, so let's get straight onto the computer. Okay, so we're going to get straight into the tool. So this is the actual template that I was talking about, and I basically created this main page, which is almost like an admin page or a home page. And this is in Google Sheets. So the first thing that you're going to need to do in order to gain access to this is you're going to need to click the link inside of the description box, and I'd like it if you just simply follow the steps as we're going through the video. So if you go into my description box, you'll see a link. You click that link and then that will open the tool and you download it. Once you've done that and you open the link, it will basically bring you to this kind of page here. Now what you're going to want to do is click file and then make a copy. So it's going to come up with copy of website, SEO template or whatever. So you know, just all you need to do is just rename it to whatever your website is called, and then it will have SEO tracking sheet there, and take off template maybe. Okay, so after you do that, you click OK, and then it will generate a document that just looks exactly the same as this, but with your actual name and saved to the location that you've chosen. Okay, now the next thing you want to do is basically put down the website, so the name of the site, so whatever the site is, SEOranking.com or whatever your site is, then the date that it was created. So obviously if you're creating it today, then you'd put today's date, and today's date is the 11th, I believe. Yep, so 11/04/2019. So that's what you would do there. And then total post, don't worry about that. That's just something additional that I done. Then you could also have your admin login details. So whatever your password is, yeah, password here, yeah. Okay, so whatever your password is, whatever the password is, you put it in there. Okay. And so this is like something that you will have also for if you sell your site. So this is like mainly for niche websites, because if you're selling them, you're going to need to pass on as much information as possible. So any other login details, like say for example you had a ClickBank account and whatever that you was also given inside of the sale, you would note that down here. So you might put ClickBank and put the username and password again, yeah. So user, like you might put username and then password, and then you would put the login details for that. Okay, or if you had an associated Amazon account, then you may do the same thing again. So that's the idea. You get what I'm doing here, yeah. So this is exactly the way you would do it, and you put the details in so they can gain access and have all of that. You can extend all of this if you want as well, but we don't need to do that right now. Okay, so this tab here is just for any updates that you make on the site that you'd like to note down. Now, what I've also installed is a date selection function on this actual spreadsheet. So if you were to put in whatever it is that you you know, are doing in here. So first of all, I'm going to also change this. So this, I'm going to add, what I'm going to do is make the text so it wraps. So yeah, basically what you'll want to do, if I haven't done it already, is just basically, if you're typing and you've got really long text, then you can just click here and it will wrap the text round. So what that means is when you're, you know, typing, for example, it doesn't let you do it here, but basically if it goes over like that and you press enter, it's gonna wrap it around, opposed to it being like this. This is how it usually would be, so you won't be able to see the end of it, and then if you wrap it, it will double it up and increase the size of the actual cell. Okay, so that's something else you can do. But the date function is, if you double click, it then allows you to select the date and it goes straight in there. And you can also center this if you'd prefer it to be, you know, centered and all of that kind of thing. Okay, so that's exactly, I'll do all of that for you just for to save you the time. Okay, so then if we come over to the next tab, we've got blog comments. So this is to track your blog comments, and I've left like a little note on each one to explain how they work. So blog comments is when you essentially go over to other blogs within your niche and you basically leave a comment asking them for advice on their blog and then link back to your blog, but you're making out that you're like, you know, a third party person just looking for some advice from that person. And that's how you get a backlink that usually is no follow, but back to your, you know, money site, yeah, your money page or whatever you're trying to increase the rankings on. So when I do that, I basically put the URL, because you need to basically be able to know if the comment was accepted or not, because then you don't know if you got the backlink. So the only way of knowing it is if, you know, it shows up on your tracking on your Google Analytics or on your search console. But you may want to check back in and see if the comment stuck or if it wasn't accepted and things like that. So when you're doing it on the day, you come into this tool and basically you'll put the URL of the site that you're tracking. So say for example, best tools. Yep. So say for example, if you were doing it on a blog like this and you came in, you done the blog comment, you know, and whatever, you left the comment here and you were trying to get a backlink. There might be one here. No, there's none inside of this, but usually it would be a link inside of this here that links back to your page. This is actually an affiliate site for things as well. But anyway, so if we basically had this would be the URL of target page for baiting. So we're baiting that page. So you put that in there. Okay. And I've also already set that up to wrap text and all that stuff. And then receiving URL. So this is the page of your own website. So if your site, you know, was this or whatever, you would put that in there. So that will go in there. Okay. So that's that. Then you'll put the status. Yeah, so it's in progress. If it's not in progress, not started, I've already colored all of these for you so it looks nice and pretty. And then if it was complete, it will go green. Okay, so not started or whatever. So these are ones that if you get an idea, you had this blog but you're doing something else and you were just, you know, working, but you needed to just quickly note it down to come back to it, you'd put not started in here. Okay, and then you can double click again and select the date and then date of last checked. Okay, when you last checked it, and did it stick? Is it no follow or do follow? If it's no follow, then it goes that color, and do follow is like that. Okay, so for example, in this example, we might have baited it, so we've put it's in progress, and we'll come back to it. Date baited, which is today, so you click that date, and then after that, the date that you last checked. So if we came back in and checked on that date, we'd click that. Yeah, and then do follow or no follow. So it may be a do follow, no follow. If you don't know what it is, just leave it blank. Now, if you had a successful template that kept working really, really good, you don't want to copy and paste, but you want to model the same technique or strategy. You could leave the actual comment inside of here or inside of one of these boxes, like, and have several templates that are working, so you know the idea of the technique that you're going to use each time for that specific niche or website that you're trying to grow. Okay, so that's all of that and how that works. And there's basically like a key guide here that explains exactly, you know, how this works and what it is, the purpose of it, and whatever else if you get lost. And then we've got the next tab, which is the Web 2.0 tracker. So for those of you who don't know what Web 2.0s are, basically they're mini blogs that you create on free websites like WordPress.com or Weebly or Tumblr. And you basically essentially drive traffic and also link juice back to your site. So eventually, you know, because these sites or these mini blogs are built on such high authority domains, like for example, WordPress.com, you can create like a mini site. So say my first site was in the dog niche. I have done it already, created like mini blogs, which are like 5 pages long, averaging around 500 to 1200 words. And it's all about dogs. And then I link it back to an article that I'm trying to rank, get higher in the ranks. And you might build like 5 or 10 of them that all link back to your page that you're trying to rank on your site. And it basically increases the rankings. Now, what you're going to want to do is for a majority of these Web 2.0s, you're going to want to make an email that you use for it, and then, you know, a password, and then recovery email. Yeah. And then you're going to want to note down all of this information. So the name of the blog, yeah, like what's it called, the platform you used, was it WordPress, Weebly, the username, the password, the email address that it was associated with, and then the blog URL. So the actual URL of the actual mini blog, yeah, so you can get back to it. Then you can do a post URL. So these are going to be, you know, the post that you're linking to, so the post on your website that you have linked to from the blog. Okay, then the next thing is going to be anchor text. So if you had more sites in future and you had these mini blogs sitting there, you could then link it to another site. Like, so if you built a second dog site and this was a dog Web 2.0, you could link it to your first website, and then you could use that again, because it would be even more powerful in future, and link it to your other blog or link it to someone else's and sell backlinks. I don't know, whatever you want to do. And then anchor text. So anchor text is essentially this, you know, like these links. Yeah. So the anchor text is the text that's used, because that's also understood and read by search engines. So the anchor text for this would be Domen Hrvatin, however you pronounce it, or haircutting and head shaving for reviews. That's the anchor text. Okay, so if I hover over it, it also shows it up. Yeah, and when you actually inspect this, like in code and whatever, that's how it shows up. So this is how search engines will understand it. So you can see here it is. Yeah, that's the anchor text, haircutting and head shaving. Okay, so that's the anchor text there. And this is how search engines are reading the site, like this, all of this code stuff. Okay. So anyway, if we come back over here, that will be the anchor text, and then you select the date, same way. So you put the date in, and then the search engine ranking position. Okay, results page, search engine results pages. What position are you in? So you might want to put, you know, all of this stuff in the middle. But what position are you in today? And, you know, you might want to come back to that, because if you're in position 15 when you baited this, you might come back in 2 weeks and you've gone up. So you might want to note that down, you know, and use it that way. So however you want to use it is up to you. And also, you've also got these, you know, different key guides again that I explain, like, you know, what the tool's for and how to use it and so on and so forth. And if you want to just copy more of these, like this is like next set of Web 2.0s. If you had like more you wanted to do, you just essentially, like, you know, come over here, copy, press Command C, and then you just come down here, Command V, and it does the same thing. So you've got all the same thing, and all you would do is just change the number to 16 or whatever it is. Okay, so that's what you want to do. And that's that in a nutshell, really. So then the next tab is backlinks. So the next one is basically backlinks, and this is essentially quite similar to the blog comments, but this is for everything else. So I keep blog comments separate because it involves a little bit of waiting time and whatever else. When you're doing authority links or something like that, you've already paid, so it's guaranteed it's going to come. With blog comments, it's a little bit different. Okay, so if we were to take this link and use it the same way, you could say the page of URL supplying the link would be, again, the one that we've listed. Again, you can wrap this if you want to wrap the text like that so you can see the whole thing. Type of link. Now I've got different colors and different options here. So if it was a guest post that you've written, then you could put that. If it was an authority link that you've purchased or you've gotten somehow, then you could do that. You could select, if it was a social signal, you could select that. If it was press release, you could do that. And if it's a PBN, which is a private blog network, you could also select that. And then you're going to want to note down the anchor text that you used. So if you were trying to link back to this and it was like receiving page URL, so again, we could use this as an example. And the name of the site. So this is the site of that's supplying you the link. So this is called Balding Beards. Yeah, so Balding Beards. And then if it was like, say, for example, a guest post, so it got guest posts, we've got different colors for this, authority links, social signal, all of these different things. So just say it was a guest post, then the anchor text that you used, yeah, so the anchor text may be, let's have a look. Let me just change this as well to the middle. So the anchor text could be, beard game. Oh, don't know where that went. Yeah, so anchor text could be beard game, strong. Strong beard game. Okay, and then your search engine results page. So what position are you in? Yeah, so as of to date, like what position are you currently in? And then you might put again like you're in position 15, and then you select the date. Okay, so the date function might not be in here, but if it isn't, don't worry, just put the date in of today. So 11/04/2019, and that's it. Okay, so you've got all of that information. And what's important is when you're actually selling your site or anything like that, you've got information on everything. Like everything's here. You've got all the information. You've got any updates that you've done on the site. So today I added 2 new pieces of content, and then you might put supporting articles for best beard review host. You see, and then you've got the date. So that's the way it works. It allows you to keep track of everything. You've got all of the information of different logins from affiliate programs. So you might put like affiliate programs, yeah, or whatever. You'd spell it a lot better than me, I'd imagine. But you might put that in there, and underline it or something. I don't know, make it look nice. And yeah, and then the last tab is just notes. So this is just any notes you have, and then you double select it and select the date. Yeah, so notes, like, I don't know, it's the same as kind of the updates, yeah, but notes is just anything you wanted to note. Like today I noted down about the ClickBank thing. So like, I was trying to build a website. I'm building a website on babies, and I kept thinking, just about babies, and trying to find ClickBank products just about that. But then I thought, after someone has a baby, the woman wants to lose weight like fast. So then I started thinking, like one of the things me and my partner were doing, we're making smoothies every day, and that's how she lost weight. So then that's a product that I can promote. And and sleep, that's another problem. Like when you've got a brand new baby, trying to sleep properly and all of this. So that's more products. So like, I really had this narrow-minded way of thinking, but, I wanted to note it all down so I don't forget. Like one thing that we know as humans is we forget everything. So I just note stuff down. I kind of brain dump, as you may have heard the term before, but that's exactly how I do it anyway. And that's for another video. But yeah, so I hope this helps you. So this is exactly the template. This is all the things you would do. Everything's in there. You've got guest posts, authority links. You've got everything that you can do, and you can continue to do this. So eventually you'll have all these different functions and links and tracking and anchor text and positions and dates and everything, like all in one. And if you want to add the dates, just say for example like this wasn't working or something like that, like on this one here for example, what you would do is basically you would on a Mac you would hold Control, or on a normal computer as well, and then date validation, and then you just click date, and then is a valid date, and then save. Okay, so this one you'll remove it from date validation, remove validation, because you don't want it on these tabs here. Yeah, so like I mean you wouldn't want it on any of them really, so remove validation on those, and then on these it will now come up. Okay, so that's how you do it. It's that simple. And if you get lost with that, again it's just Control, right click, date validation, and is a valid date. You just select that from criteria. The only thing with this why I selected the whole thing is so it does it continuously, like that's it. So if you want to change something continuously, you would select the whole top column and then do it that way, and it will change everything. Like even when you create more and new ones, it will do it. But I mean this is going for like 600 and something, so I mean you're not probably going to be tracking more than 1,000 links, like that you've just built, because the rest of them you can do yourself. And if you're wondering like how do I track my keywords and things like that, my keywords are tracked inside of my key search tool, so that basically allows me to track all of that. And I've got this in rank tracking, so it shows me my exact position and the keywords that are ranking, so what pages are ranking for what keywords and whatever. And I'm not going to show you that because that's my specific keywords for my tool, for my website, sorry. But key search rank tracking, you can take a look at that, and I'll also leave a link to that tool inside of this video. I've got tutorials on this channel about that tool and how it works and whatever else. But to put things into perspective, this is the tracking tool right here. So this is how it looks. So you can see like you've got your website, which is the .com domain, and then it shows you your change. So if you've gone up in the ranks, it gathers up all the data and it shows you your number of how many positions you've gone up overall amongst all of your keywords. And if you've gone down in the ranks, it will show you how many positions you've gone down by. But when it calculates this, it basically takes away all of the ones that you've gone down by and then calculates all the ones you've gone up by, and it basically gives you an overall statistic with all the deductions and whatever. So overall, minus the ones that you've gone down by, that's like an overall change of how much you've changed by. Then it gives you a page authority, domain authority, and how many keywords you're tracking. So for this, you can see here that, this website is position 25 for this, position 20 for that, position 10, and it shows you the average volume and when it was last updated, and that's how you refresh it, and so on and so forth. So that's like your ranking position and then the keyword that you're ranking for. This is exactly how it works, and it gives you like a chart for how many you're in the top 3 for, top 100 for, top 10, overall change, negative or positive change, and then average rank. So your average position overall, like amongst your site on the internet. And then it says like we've found keywords. So if you're ranking for keywords that you're not tracking, it will pop up with this little tab, and it will allow you to search those and start tracking them as well. But that's it. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, and if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. But I hope you have a good day. Peace out and enjoy.